All America, this is Grandma Sunshine, and today it is November 2014. Welcome to the World News with Grandma Sunshine. Sugar, we have a lot of things to talk about today. Why we have a lot of hatred going around in the world, Sugar, and I am just telling you that Grandma Sunshine, born and raised in Mississippi as a Southern Baptist, wants to help the world understand how can we really make peace in this world, Sugar. Why we have ISIS just going around killing everybody, and we have everybody in the world trying to condemn Israel because the Arabs are throwing Molotov cocktails and stones. And I assume that the whole world expects Israel to be some type of super people. And if people were throwing stones and Molotov cocktails at President Obama or the American soldiers, I do believe that they would probably shoot at those people as well. Now, I know that in every single country of the world, if somebody throws stones in protest, they would be arrested, Sugar. But in Israel, I think the world would be upset if Israel would arrest some of these Arabs. And I think the problem is that the world is telling everybody that they deserve to have the occupied territory belonging to the Arabs and the Palestinians, Sugar. And that is completely wrong. For anyone to tell Israel that they have no right to live in the occupied territory, it is completely incorrect. Well, everyone knows that every single Israeli are the children of Israel, the Jewish people, are the children of the Bible. That's right. They are from Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And these people really existed, Sugar. And Sugar, there was really a temple on Mount Moriah where there is a mosque today. And yes, Sugar, this whole entire city of Jerusalem, the old city, was occupied by Jewish people, whereas Israeli and the whole West Bank belonged to the Jewish people for over 2,000 years. And now the world is all upset at Israel. And now Iran, Khomeini, the spiritual leader, is saying for the annihilation of Israel. Sugar, is there any more hatred that we could just pour onto Israel, which is the only democracy in that type of the world where people live in freedom? People come to Tel Aviv from all parts of the Middle East and Europe to have freedom. And we are just condemning and throwing stones and Molotov cocktails. God in heaven, how much could Israel cope with? How much hatred can Israel take? Do Israelis go around the world with hacksaws and trying to make jihad wars with the world? Israel has a Torah, and they're the children of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and they believe in one God who believes that every single person on the face of the earth is special. Which is why, Sugar, I believe in Kabbalah, because that is Judaism. And Sugar, the Arabs and the Christians, they have taken everything from Judaism. And there hasn't been one Jew that went around the world trying to kill anybody like the Christian Crusades and the jihadists, extremists. Sugar, the Jewish people have a Torah. They have something called commandments of God to fulfill on this world, to be the light unto all nations of the earth. And I am looking up to God in heaven to protect Israel and defend Israel from all the hatred that surrounds it. God in heaven, please God who created the universe, please help Israel get through all the hatred in the world, sugar. And we have to pray, because Grandma Sunshine is against hatred, sugar. And we are not going to win this world war against hatred unless we all acknowledge the fact that the Temple Mount belongs to the Jewish people. And I know why the Arabs are so mad. I know why they're throwing Molotov cocktails. And I know why they're throwing stones, because they don't want to accept the truth, sugar. They know that the West Bank is not occupation. It's occupied territory by the Israeli people, the people who have a right. And every time we give something back to the Arabs, they destroy it. Sugar, if we gave back all the holy grounds of all the cemeteries of the Jewish people, the holy priests and all the beautiful people, like even Joseph in Shechem, that was destroyed by the Arabs. There is no factual evidence that Palestinians belong in the West Bank. There is no factual evidence that they deserve to have the Temple Mount. There is factual evidence that Israel deserves the Temple Mount. And while Iran is getting nuclear power, Jonathan Pollard, 25 years ago, told the world that this is going to happen. And what did America do? They put him in prison to rot for over 25 years, sugar. Jonathan Pollard, who had told the world what is going to happen, and he surely was right, sugar. Iran today said that they want the annihilation of Israel, and you think that Israel shouldn't be worried? You think that it's okay to throw stones and Molotov cocktails when they don't deserve to live in the land? You know for a fact the Temple Mount belongs to the Jewish people. Sugar, we are all children of the Bible. Whether you're Christian, Arab, whether you're Jewish, you all know, sugar, that these people, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and King David, they really did exist. And if you really want to know, sugar, the truth is that my great-grandmother is a descendant of Maimonides. And Maimonides' father traced his lineage to King David, sugar. So if you're trying to say that King David never existed, sugar, well, Grandma Sunshine wouldn't be here today, sugar. Because I am a descendant of King David as well, sugar. And I'm telling you, sugar, that the Palestinians are not the promised people to live in the promised land. So, sugar, why do America and Europe and everybody says that it's okay to throw missiles at Israel and they shouldn't fight back to those missile launching sites? Why does the world say it's okay for Israel soldiers to be bombarded and stabbed with rocks and Molotov cocktails? Why is it okay for Israel to have to endure with such pain and suffering, sugar? Why is it okay if somebody did that in America, they would be in jail for throwing a stone? Why is it okay that Israel has to suffer all the hatred around the world, sugar? And why is it okay for Iran to say to the world to annihilate Israel? And why is people being together with all this hatred, sugar? Grandma Sunshine is just praying for the world to change, to the world to accept the truth of the one God of heaven who created the world, of the one God who gives us life, and thank God for everything we have in life, sugar. I am just standing up for Israel, sugar, because they are going to save this entire world. If we let extremists take over this world, if we let ISIS have their way, they would kill children, and they would kill husbands and take the wives and rape people, sugar. We have to learn from the Torah and learn from Kabbalah. Maybe we can learn something from the Jewish people, sugar. So what? I'm a born, raised, and Baptist from southern Mississippi, sugar. We can learn from Israel. We can learn from the Jewish people. We can learn from the Torah. We can believe in God and the great miracles that can happen to us. Let's all say the Ana B'Koach, sugar. Ana B'Koach Gedulat Yemincha Tatir Tzurura Kabel Rinat Amcha Sagvenu Taharenu Nora Na Gibor Dorshe Yichudcha Kevavat Sham Rem Barchem Taharem Rachamem Zitkatcha Tamid Gamlem Chasin Kadosh Berov Tuvcha Nahel Adatecha Yachid Ge'ei Le'amcha Pnei Zochrei Kedushatecha Shavatenu Kabel Ushma Tzakatenu Yodea Talumot Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed. And sugar, let's all hope for peace and not support all the people in the world that support terrorism like Iran to call for the annihilation of Israel. Let's support Israel, and sugar, let's make this world be a better place for everyone tomorrow. Thank you for listening to the World Report with Grandma Sunshine.